Hello everyone, so I've started a character already, and thus I will begin the first starting of the playthrough here.
Here. Here. Feel.
So this is the first kind of choice you have. It doesn't really affect anything early on, but further into the game, some of the dialogue kind of changes. The first time I played through this, I kind of kept silent, but I'll just go for this one.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises. A solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm. May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
So from here I'm probably going to read the dialogue for each of the cutscenes that don't actually have voiceovers. And obviously, as you can see, this is going through a very basic tutorial of how to move and jump, turn camera, and, well, turn character, so. The nice thing about this is that gives you that option to open the play guide. I'm just gonna adjust a setting here, something that I'm used to doing. So every once in a while, when you find something new in the game, there'll be a help window, and obviously you can see you can disable that down here. I personally left it open because I was new to the game, and much further on into the game, there were things I wouldn't have even noticed if I didn't have that help window pop up. So I left it on just so I could see all the various things, and it was quite helpful for understanding the game. The play guide is also containing all of this information, so you can look at it yourself at your own leisure. So we're talking to Waymond, I'm not sure how to say his name. So the title, Coming to Ul'dah. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Ul'dah, you must register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. "'Tis plain to see..." let's start over. "'Tis plain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. If I let you go wandering off down the nearest dark alley, you're certain to get mugged, of course, and I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you'll want to head over to Quicksand and speak with Momodi. Momodi. Something. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path." "Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll find her inside." And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with the adventurer. Yay, we've begun a quest. And then I'll just leave this so for you guys to pause to read this. I won't read these out. And off we go to talk to Momodi. We'll go with Momodi. Why, hello there! Who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momodi, and I own this fine establishment, if it please you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And lucky for you, that it is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd find yourself in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with Ul'dah. for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on forever now. And then there's the Garlean Empire. None can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all, there's worry. Worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder, it's scarce been 5 years since the lesser moon cracked, open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into an eighth hell. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. 'Twas like the end of the world had come at last. But then things began to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened. Next, some of them, 2 or 3? You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is, they don't. Nobody does. There is one thing that survivors agree on, though. The part played on a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame our recollections of those brave heroes are as jumbled as those of the calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I'll bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bleeding, bloody, infuriating. But even we can't remember them. Well, not let them be forgotten, and so we call them the Warriors of Light. And they'll forever stand as the shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. I'll ask is that you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. Alright then, a promise is a promise. Now, I'm counting on your help to put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the quicksand too. Any road, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register, neat as you can. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, it does. Alright. On behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir, be merciful. 12 is my witness, I swear to you. I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said that even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you were given a 4th chance to offend. You too, attend to this scum. No, please, mercy! Well, ain't that a sorry sight? Nor an uncommon one, if I'm honest. Don't worry though, if you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing a lady muse on the many manhoods of her acquaintance from time to time. Any road, welcome to Ul'dah. Take a moment to catch your breath and I'll teach you a little about our fair city. And obviously, as it says, this concludes the introductory game tutorial. Woo! As it says, listen well to the wisdom of Modi, then go forth and discover the incredible adventures that await you. Obviously, if you start in Gridania or Limsa, there'll be a different character for your beginning tutorial. Momody, the proprietress of the Quicksand, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. Before you go charging off to find your fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform so as to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aethernet Plaza to get there. Head west from here till you reach Emerald Avenue, then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Aetherite. Sorry if I mispronounced that. If it weren't for Aetherites traveling around Eorzea, it would be a damn sight more troublesome than it is. Of course, you still need to attune with them first. You can use them, before you can use them, so be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You ever attuned with an Aetherite before? If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, I want you to pay a visit to the Gladiators Guild over at the Coliseum. Assuming the sword ain't just for show, you might consider training in there. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over on the steps of Thal. Goods from all across Eorzea and beyond turn up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that everything's for sale here in Ul'dah, as long as you've got the gil. Just make sure you don't pay more than you ought, Slevin. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they don't know one's looking out for the best interest. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Ceciroga and give it to him. He'll be happy to help you with the markets once he's read it. In short, then, visit the Aethernet Plaza, the Gladiators Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple! Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. While there's more than a few unsavory characters out there who'll try to take advantage of you, there are also some with honest-to-goodness problems who you should consider offering a helping hand to. A lot of folk are lured to the city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after gil the moment they get here, you ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should speak with Smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it for me. It's past time you go on. Get gone. Oh, and let me know when you're finished, will ya? That way I won't be spending my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a gil to your name. So depending on what your starting class is will determine whether... So like I have to visit the Gladiators Guild, that's because I started as a gladiator. If you started as one of the other classes, then it would be to that corresponding guild. And as you can see on this map here, there is this, which is the main scenario quest task that needs to be done there, and then these are just your various other side quests. And then you can see there's attachment to the city, and there's part of the quest there. We'll just get to the Aetherite first. Hail, adventurer. Might you have come at the behest of Miss Momodi of the Quicksand? Excellent, which brings us to the matter of the attunement fee. That will be 100,000 gil, if you please, madam. Apologies, but I do relish the opportunity to make that jest. The look on your face was absolutely priceless. Oh, but the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you're unfamiliar with the use of aetherites. Allow me to explain. These crystalline agglomerations tap into etheric energies and are primarily used as means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Perchance you have heard of return and teleport? Well, these transportation spells make direct use of the aetherites and their connection to the flow of aether. Given that there is an aetherite in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer with a mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and attune herself to each and every one. But even if you have no intention of wandering around beyond the Sultanate's borders, if you would be prudent for you to attune yourself to any aetherites you encounter from now on. I pray you found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about the aetherites or the transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. And now we know the return ability, which means we can attune to an aetherite and set that as our home point. So whenever we use the return skill, it will return us to that aetherite. And as this says, only one home point may be set at a time. So that defaults to set home point because it's probably the first one. Otherwise you have to right click on it again or select it and then do that. And there's your teleport and return skills. I'll probably do some alterations to the UI on the next video, so if you see there's a difference, that's why. And here, this is Ul'dah's Grand Company, the Hall of Flames, which is the Immortal Flames. You'll know more about them later on in the game. And, well, since we're here, we'll just start talking to some side quest people. And you see the various options for, well, gear or this, which you can sell for the amount designated that it says, so it sells for 25 gil at the bottom there. So since there's 3 of them, that's a whole 75 gil. Anyway. Jakuta, the merchant, is visibly perturbed and in need of some assistance. Tell me what brings you here, friend. Looking for a bit of work, perhaps? Some small job to add a little weight to that coin purse of yours? Well, you're in luck. The Fugalists have just placed an order with me for several of the leather gloves and harnesses they use for sparring. But the traders are cruel, for I find myself lacking the hides required. Would that I had the pelts of a few snapping shrews. But say, you friend, care to help a merchant down on his luck? Bring me 5 snapping shrew pelts and promise to make it worth your while. You can find the creature's Roman Central Thanalin. So, I tend to open the map a lot. Sorry in advance. It's a habit for the most part. Let's talk to Gelther. Gelther does not like the way you're looking at him, but will let it pass if you deliver a message for him. Hey, you! I saw you looking at me. You got something to say, huh? No, well, I do. You know, Ul'dah, short, broke, never pays what he owes? Yeah, that bleeding Horson's told. Tell him to pay up, or I swear by 12 I'll beat him so hard it'll feel like the second coming of Dolomud. If I see that little shite's face, I'll end up pounding him into a bloody pulp, like as not. So you go and tell him. I guess we're the money collector today. And since that's just over there, we'll just go over there. I like how motivational speaking is threaten this Ul'dah person. And apparently they know who we are. Alright then, I'll give back every gil I owe, I swear. But no more beatings, beg you. And fire shard or potion. We'll probably go for potions since... Oh, I guess we get both. Never mind. Sometimes there's an option of which quest reward you select. You don't always get all of it. I guess this is a chain quest, so... Ul'dah needs help to repay a long overdue debt. Look, I haven't got the gil on hand, but I do have this ring. Ain't much to look at, but it'll surely fetch a high price. Was my dear departed mum's wedding ring. Rest her soul, but she'll understand. Now to my man over at the ossuary, and you'll get your coin. Guess we're headed this way. And if you notice, there's a miniature Aethernet tuned to those two, and then you can teleport throughout the city of Ul'dah. I didn't notice these at first until I was much further into the game. And then this explains this as well. Greetings, adventurer. What brings you to Aethernet Ossuary? And we're handing the gaudy ring, which is... One look at this extravagant ring would make anyone question Uldah's mother's taste in finery. You wish to sell this heirloom on behalf of a Ul'dah? Very well. It is most unfortunate when such drastic measures must be taken. Doubly so when an item is questionably a fake, and such a gaudy, poorly wrought one. Also, you do know that our appraisals are not free. Normally the fee is subtracted from the agreed value. Alas, considering the negligible value of this ring, I'm afraid you will still owe us. However, since this is a rather unusual circumstance, we shall waive the fee this once. No need to concern yourself with this bauble. I will personally see to its disposal. And see, as I was mentioning before, you have the choice of the potion or the ether. This is helpful for your magical DPS or your healers who use MP. Right now, a potion is helpful for the health. This obviously just goes through handing over items. Now we'll talk to Erasmus. Erasmus of the Thaumaturge's Guild is preoccupied with his studies, but his brow is furrowed in a way that cries out for help. I am Erasmus of the Order of Ul'dah, and I am charged with studying the anatomy of this region's fauna and the environs in which they dwell. For the dark art of our order is death itself, and power over death can come only through knowledge of life. One day I shall publish my findings in a single comprehensive volume, The Many Breaths of Thanalan, but there is much work to be done before that day. Aid me, sister. Bring me 5 bottles of marmot blood, and perhaps I shall name you in a footnote. Marmots are hardly creatures that thrive nigh everywhere. You will mostly certainly find them just outside the city in western Thanalan, by way of the Gate of the Sultana. Do take care, they can be feisty little critters when threatened. I like how sometimes the doors are slow to open, so that you just end up walking right through them. Hahito. We'll go with Hahito. Has had enough of her husband's poor work ethic and needs someone to whip him into shape. How can an ossuary demand such exorbitant contributions every single moon? It's outrageous, I tell you. Don't they understand that a woman has needs? How do they expect me to pay for rouge and sin silk dresses and feed my marmot? Oh, if only I had the foresight to marry a more ambitious man. This is all his fault. If he just worked harder and showed me some initiative, surely he would be rewarded, maybe even promoted. If things don't improve, it won't be long before I join the beggars in Pearl Lane. Save me from this cruel fate, I beg you. Speak with my husband, Bobanima, and find some way to motivate him. You should find him at the Colosseum entrance wearing one of those ridiculous outfits. So, there is this mini-map here, but as I said, I intend to open the map more. I just like it better. Oh, talk to Bobanima. I'm Bobanima. Congratulations, you found the world's worst husband. At least he knows it. That is, if you believe that a harpy I have for a wife. She never cooks, she never cleans, she just gallivants around spending my hard-earned money. And now I see she's speaking ill of me to bloody strangers. Well, if you're hell's-bent on meddling in my affairs, you can assist me by taking some of these Franz the Fair flyers and posting them on the walls inside the Colosseum. I've still got a long shift ahead of me standing out here, so I won't be getting to it anytime soon. When you finish, go and tell Wulkin at the Gladiators Guild he should give you something for your trouble. And key items. You notice, well, it's hard to see right there. There's a little button that you can use that. There is also in the actions and traits, I believe, a button. Yes, key items button that you could drag there, so then you don't have to click on those things every single time. Or it opens it up in the inventory. Hitting I for the inventory, you can see that the key items are also right there. It's usually only for... It is only for story quests or side quests, so that inventory space is not a space you have to worry about whether or not having any space in it. No, we're gonna scoop up the quest from there, and then we'll head over to the other side. Talk to Wyman again. Wyman would like to know what you think of Ul'dah. So how are you taken to Ul'dah's? Make any new friends in high places yet? Ha! When you have the Sultana's ear one day, I hope you won't have forgotten about old woman. Long as you're here, mayhap you can do me a favor and take this missive to Joessus in a Platinum Mirage. It's just over yonder on the man. I'll give you some gil for your trouble. If only all work in the city was this easy, eh? And where we're headed that way. Do you have business with the Platinum Mirage today? Sealed envelope. This unmarked envelope contains a missive penned by local businessman Wyman, or Wymond. I don't know how to say his name. A missive from Wyman? A missive from Wyman? Alright then, let's have a look. Bird is barren. Let the hounds feast. So it goes. Oh, this? Well, you see, this guild is often contracted to provide protective services. Unfortunately for this particular petitioner, Wyman's investigation has revealed his finances to be wanting. Maybe adventurers like you don't mind working for free, but we have a business to run. I myself have 4 mouths to feed, so this bird will have to fend for himself, I'm afraid. we're just gonna head over to the other side of Ul'dah and head to the Steps of Thal and get all the quests done on that side. And then we'll head out to start some combat. Because there's probably going to be other quests that we need to do there, so. One thing I like about the loading screens is that you can still see the chat while it's loading, so you can still chat at the same time. And this is the business center, if you will. Alright, let's talk to Cesaroga. And you are, a newly come adventurer, but of course, yes, I'm Cesaroga. What can I do for you? Ah, you would have me teach the ways of the marketplace. Very wise. As for my fee, what? You expect me to do this for free? Surely you jest. My dear adventurer, when you ask an Ul'dah for a favor, you should at least try to make it worth his while. Judging by your garb, I rather doubt you could afford my services. But the fact that you offer nothing is laughable. And then, letter of introduction. A slip of bound parchment entrusted to you by Quicksand Proprietress Modi. Oh, Mistress Momodi instructed you to seek me out, did she? Consider yourself fortunate to have such influential friends. I shall be brief, and you shall be attentive. You stand in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, the busiest and most profitable marketplace in the Sultanate. Being advantageously situated in the relation to the other city-states, Ul'dah's markets have ever served as both the literal and figurative centers of Eorzean commerce. All the great overland trade routes lead to the city, and the majority of maritime trade between Vildbrand and Aldenard passes through our ports. Because of this, countless companies and consortia have chosen Ul'dah as their base of operations. They see to it that this marketplace is awash with merchants and moneylenders day and night. Anything a man could ever desire can be purchased here, provided as he has sufficient funds. Surely there is something you seek, adventurer. A deadlier sword, perhaps? Or a shinier trinket? Whatever it is you want, the exchange will have it. To the north you will find merchants peddling armor and accessories, curatives, and crafting materials. And to the south you will find weapons, tools, and an assortment of other useful items for sale. Seek out a particular merchant or browse to your heart's content, but do try to remain aloof should you find something that piques your interest. Decisions made in the heat of the moment are usually unwise, especially where coin is concerned. Ahem. That is all the complimentary aid you shall have from me, and far too much for my taste. My regards to Momodi. Now off with you. Very pointed he is. And then you have some creative names from players. And we're gonna head... Actually, we're gonna attune to this first. As I said, I completely missed these the first time I played this game, and it took me some time to actually notice them. In fact, I think it wasn't until I was able to access the next major city-state that I noticed these. It definitely makes it convenient, and as you can see, they're marked out on the mini-map. But, yeah, not noticing them at first was... I do like to run around the city. It makes me more acquainted with where I'm going. But sometimes if you want to get around faster, it is, well, faster. Unless you have a poor internet connection and the loading times of the areas can be kind of slow. For me, it's not so bad. And it's usually not so bad when you're within a city, but when you're teleporting to another city, sometimes it can lag up, but not so much. It doesn't do that too often. I'll talk to Aethelwine. Aethelwine appears vexed by his work at the Weaver's Guild and is in need of a helping hand. Something in a cream? Oh, whatever shall I do? This dress? I just can't seem to finish it. Oh, the design is flawless. Absolutely flawless. I have no doubt, but I simply cannot settle on the color for the life of me. How would you like to conduct a bit of field research for me? I'm dying to know what the color of the ladies of Ul'dah are wearing these days, especially on the hustings trip. And when you're finished, please call on Liuku at the Alchemist's Guild. The woman is a wizard with dyes. Have her cook up whatever color you find is most popular. Julian of the Weaver's Guild finds yourself at a troubling loss for manpower. If it is work you seek, the Weaver's Guild welcomes you. Indeed, your timing is impeccable. A soiree. I know how to say this word, but it's just not coming out right. We'll get to that later. Is to be held with all of Ul'dah's elite in attendance. Once the invites went out, the orders came in, and that with a fury. Every lord and lady from Cape Deadwind to the Cinderfoot is demanding the latest fineries. I need hands and aid them now. Yet I cannot spare the time to go off in search of them. Would you care to aid us and ask no more than you welcome to our doors and any willing souls you might find? Come, let us see how you fare. Show me your warmest welcome. This is something that I liked with this quest line. It's different in each city-state, and you'll actually be able to see those quests, the side quests anyway, that they introduce the emotes and actually have them intertwined with the story, and they're used periodically for various things in the game, which is pretty cool. So, just seeing what? Excellent idea, Sherry. I would work for you myself. Now hurry off, we need those people. And these are for this. Work at the Weaver's Guild? I'd be lying if I said I weren't interested. To whom might I go to inquire further? The Weavers are recruiting? Finally! My chance to become a famous designer. I guess they're just gonna stand there until, well, later. Weaving work? Take a look at me, friend. I'm a bloody card and on duty, no less. Move along now. I appreciate the offer, but I must refuse. I'm all thumbs when it comes to stitching and whatnot. Helps if I type properly. So, the Weavers need help, do they? Sorry, friend, I'm all set for coin. Well, that was some people anyway. Then we'll talk to her again to close that off. And that's the other thing that's nice about this game, is that it has various quests so that you actually get to explore all the areas. And so, like, these side quests are kind of introducing the Weaver Guild, which is where also you'll get the Disciple of Hand, the Weaver class. You've returned. Well, how did you fare? 2 potential recruits, you say? Welcome news. I only hope their zeal for fashion will show their efforts for the guild. What we do here may seem all silk and satin, to be sure, but with the work within these walls is far from easy, and in that, I suppose your trade is not unlike any other. With that side quest is done. And we'll just work our way around. If you're ever uncertain if you actually attuned to this, normally just right-clicking will show it right away. There's also a slight different color. What do we need to do for you? The most popular color of late? Well, all the colors have their merits, of course, but if pressed, I'll have to say red. Any color is perfectly fine for a dress, you silly thing, so long as it comes off easily at the end of the night. Well, aren't we lovely? What color is in fashion? Well, I must say I'm just back from Gridania, and I find there's a certain rare to verdant liveries. Green, you bloody idiot! Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you were alluding to. Fast red. Wonder if he likes red. Best color for a dress? Well, you know what they say, once you go black, you never go back. They have some very creative names for the NPCs. Yellow. What fairer color than that in the name of fairest men? Yellow moon. Oh, yellow moon, how my heart pines for you. Just attuned to this. There's never short of white dresses in our Ul'dah lady. Surely it is the most comfortable color to wear under this murderous sun. Where are we headed? We're headed that way. I guess I needed to go up those stairs. Oh well. So, off to Cornell. Personally, I've always had a thing for motley red and green overlaid with stripes of purple and dark brown. So now this is leading us over to the Thaumaturge's Guild, or Alchemist's Guild, rather. My mistake. Remu. Right ever and always. This is Ul'dah, my dear girl, where the sun beats on your back with fiery fists, and the sins and sands are hot and unforgiving and everywhere at once. We Ul'dahs live for our passions, and our lust for life is surpassed only by our lust for lust. It's kind of easy to miss these when you're just looking ahead instead of looking at the maps. You are here on behalf of the Weavers Guild, are you not? Yes. Aethelwyn said you'd be along. Well, what color is it to be, then? It sounds as though you've had 2 votes for red, 1 vote for green, yellow, white, and black, 1 abstaining, and 1 vote for a motley of red and green overlaid with stripes of purple and dark and brown. By no means a resounding victory, but I suppose red it shall be. I have some catalysts I've been saving for just such an occasion. Mark my words, I'm going to concoct the most vibrant red Ul'dah has ever seen. Alchemy may look arcane and esoteric to the uninitiated, but it is grounded in naught but science and experimentation. Indeed, I dare say it does more to advance culture and civilization than nigh any other discipline. With that, we have now leveled up. Allwine has need of an adventure to help him test a revolutionary new medicine. Ah yes, at last. My work is complete. Uh-oh. Mark my words, this formula will revolutionize alchemy as we know it. With just a sip of this tonic, even raging fevers will be instantly extinguished. But I must needs test it, adventurer. While I produce more, I bid you take this batch to Pearl Lane, to Manlair Landbert. He is trusted by the other refugees. Persuaded this Landbert to take my tonic and give it to his people. I require nothing in exchange after all. If it is truly effective, it will be a tremendous boon to the advancement of the alchemic arts, and, I'm kinda at large. Yeah. We all know your motive. And we'll just mosey on along. I like to take a shortcut. I don't know if my health is high enough or not. I think I'll die, but you never know. I jump off the ledge up here because it's just faster than going down. You'll see. And I'll find out if I need to not do that again. Oh, we're good. And conveniently I jumped down at the right place so I can do all the rest of these things. You see this sparkliness? That's usually for some sort of task that you need to do, either for side story or anything else. We're just gonna zoom in and see a whole bunch of Eorzean language. Oops. I also have the habit of turning on the auto walk every once in a while. So if you see me wandering around in a random direction, that's probably why. While we're here, we'll just talk to Guinevere. Ah. What have you done? You've no kind of business to even look at such a lady as I. Oh, sorry. Such shocking, unbelievable insolence, and now look at my gill is scattered across the ground. Pick it up right this instant. Lady Guinevere wants you to gather the gill which you caused her to drop to the ground. And, well, this introduces us to interacting with stuff, but do you really want to pick that up? And last one. And then we'll talk to her again, and hopefully that's the last time. My kill, now! When there had better not be missing. The faint aroma of prosperity can be detected on this freshly minted gill. This appears to be everything. What are you still staring at? Are you expecting some kind of reward? The insolence. Ironically, we get more gill than we picked up. And now we'll just put the last poster on the wall, and then we'll go to the Gladiators Guild. Oops. Oh, something I forgot to mention when I leveled up there. You saw that I got a skill. When you get a new skill, it tells you, and it automatically adds it to your hotbar, provided there's actually room on your hotbar. You can have more than 2 hotbars. There's a total of 10 of them, or 8 of them. And you can adjust that in the, in the HUD layout here. Zazaruku needs an adventurer to pick up an order up from the Goldsmiths Guild. Have you come to wish me luck? I appreciate the thought, but there's no need to worry. What? You don't even know who I am? The next biggest thing that's coming to the Colosseum? Zazaruku's name, and you'll be hearing all about my exploits in the coming days. I'd even thought of a title for myself, the Great Gladiator. Hey, interesting name. Which reminds me, I've yet to collect the circlet I commissioned from the Goldsmiths Guild. You wouldn't mind picking it up for me, would you? guess that's probably why he's being called a garnet. And we'll just talk to him. Yeah, helping Bobanima? Well, ain't that charitable of ya? Friend has gotten pretty popular of late, and his fans keep stealing these flyers and taking them home as souvenirs. Ah, so you've met Bobanima's wife, and now I understand. Sorry to hear you got caught up in all that. If you ask me, they're made for one another. Not that it's my place to judge, mind any road. We appreciate your help. And potions. And before I forget, I'm gonna actually drag those to the hotbar, so I have them to use when I need to. Vulcan of the Gladiators Guild is muttering frantically to himself about infestation of ladybugs in the region. Carried your arse in here looking for work, eh? Well, you're in luck. Just so happens I've a deed what needs doing. Wild ladybugs have been wreaking bloody havoc on the outskirts of town. Something in the air of late's made him order as us. Wow. Ain't much for fighting on their own, but in numbers they're more than a match for any merchant we've seen more days than he has on the battlefield. Well, what'll it be? Fancy putting down 4 or so of the bloody buggers, or don't ya? As I said, we're gonna have a bunch of killing class quests, so we'll do that next. After we talk to the guildmaster here. Welcome to the Gladiators Guild, friend. Tell me, are you new to the thrills of Mortal Kombat? Well, whether you are or not, you're new to us. If you would take to your place in these hallowed halls, you must be willing and ready to undergo the most rigorous training. You must endure cuts and bruises beyond counting, and like as not, far worse. A daunting prospect, I concede, but there is no other way if you mean to take to the blood sands one day. And why wouldn't you? The Colosseum is only the most celebrated place of public entertainment in all of Ul'dah. Where else could a poor man amass a fortune so vast as to one day allow him to claim a seat at the Syndicate? Ah, there is not an Ul'dah alive who isn't inspired by the rise of self-made man. And there is no true embodiment of this than the gladiator who wins riches and fame with his sword. Throughout its long and storied history, this guild has nurtured countless champions. Our training methods are second to none, and our members ever strive to develop new technologies. If you desire true glory, to fight and triumph amidst the roar of 10,000 voices, then this is where you belong, adventurer. Think of it. Think of your legacy, and if your soul stirs, join us. So this is your beginning class quest and joining the class guild, and begins your class quest for whichever starting class quest you started. So in this case for me it's Gladiator. Lulutsu wishes you to reaffirm your desire to join the Gladiators Guild. What will it be? Will you rise above the masses and inscribe your name in legend, or will you resign yourself to mediocrity and die in obscurity? Oh, you can say no and always ask again the same dialogue and say yes or no. If you don't say yes right away, it's not a big deal. A decision you shan't regret. One moment. Take away for celebrating fresh meat coming through. Now then, before your enrollment can be considered complete, you must present yourself to First Sword Mila. Seek her out and obtain her approval. And she's conveniently right there. That's something else I should mention. There is no limit to how many classes you can do. You can play literally everything. So that's your, all the starting classes. That includes, so your Disciple of War, your Disciple of Magic, then your Crafting and Gathering classes, which are the Disciple of Hand and Disciple of Land, rather. Disciple of Hand and Disciple of Land. You can try all of them. There's no limit. And you can save equipment gear that you can swap quickly between those two, so you can change classes. Unfortunately, you can't change classes in the middle of battle, but you can change classes before you engage, and I'll get on to that more as other quests and dungeons come up. I heard Lulutsu, so you're Celebrian. 'Tis a good strong name. On behalf of the Gladiators Guild, allow me to welcome you. I am Mila, Guildmaster here. So you wish to study our arts? I presume you have our reasons for choosing the sword over all weapons. Perhaps you think it's easiest to learn. A sword is a simple weapon, but to wield a blade, well, it's anything but simple. For every Colosseum champion to emerge from our ranks, there have been countless disappointments who failed to achieve greatness. Bear that in mind before you answer me, for I do not ask for this question lightly. Have you the strength to live by the sword, and if it be your fate, die by it? And I've never actually said no, but I assume that it's gonna do the repeat of the same thing with the guild, what just happened before. And we'll just go with yes. Then, welcome, Gladiator, to your new home. Let's not waste time, shall we? I would gauge your aptitude for the sword. Just outside the gates of Ul'dah, you'll find plenty of marmots, hornets, and shrews. Slay 3 of each and return here when finished. A simple task, but essential to your training nonetheless. Now go! And we'll just head back this way and attune to this. And we'll just head back this way. Oops. Head back this way and finish some of these other quests that are pretty much right there. Since we have to go back this way to kill some... Anyway, I guess I didn't attune to this. And a order slip. A small piece of parchment detailing an order for a gaudy circlet. Sazeric's circlet? Just a moment, miss. Oh dear, this is so embarrassing. I'm afraid crafting the circlet to Zoroku's exact specifications has proven somewhat difficult. We ran out of garnets halfway through our work and we're still waiting on the next shipment. I hate to impose, but could you explain the situation to Crooked Haft at the Miners Guild? My records indicate that he was supposed to deliver the gemstones yesterday. Mayhap it slipped his mind? And as I mentioned before, now this is introducing the goldsmith, and then now would be the miners guild. So this is the first gathering class. Before that, we'll talk to Bitter Snow. Bitter Snow eyes are a lavender. Bitter Snow's eyes are those of a man in love, wrought with worry and doubt. He appears to be waiting for someone who has yet to arrive. What could be keeping her? My beloved Yellow Moon and I promised to meet at this very spot, but 2 bells have passed and nary a word from her. I hope she's all right. As much as I wish to go off and find her, I simply cannot. What if I were to come in my What if she were to come in my absence? Please, would you search for her in my stead? It's possible she's somewhere near the Weavers Guild. She always enjoyed watching the... Do you think she's left me for some more dapper? I don't try not to look like a bumpkin, but I'm no mind for fashion. Poor sap. Crooked Haft. I've a mind to drain a pint, so hurry up and speak your business. She wants how many bloody garments? 7 hells, lass, they don't grow on trees. But more than that, this lad fancies him that next Franz the Fair ought be worried less about style and more about sword display. Any road, I'll do my part to ensure that the little bastards get bedecked in all the goddamn garnets he can afford, and if he dies in his first fight, well, at least he'll leave a pretty corpse. Poor sap. And that's sometimes what happens when you use the map instead of the mini-map. We'll just head back to the Weavers Guild, and as that other player is doing, I could be sprinting, which is much faster. Of course, sometimes the game is a little slow on loading, so the person that I need, there we go. By God, be good. Just look at me. This hair, this outfit, they don't match at all. I look atrocious. What was I thinking? Oh, I can't let Bitter Snow see me like this. Maybe this last tonic was best after all. Or no, perhaps the blue? Bitter Snow is waiting for me, but I haven't had anything to wear. And our first achievement. Congratulations! And this is important to remember because there's some achievements that you'll find later on. Okay. We'll talk to finish that, and then we'll head out and for some combat. And once again, the being a bit slow on loading here. Land bird. Medicine for the sick? An earthy smelling medicine created by a budding alchemist own Ul'dah. Ha! We're not fools, lass. We know full well what that bastard alone is up to. But we'll accept his medicine nonetheless. Look at us. Beggars can't be choosers. Might be as if it's a mere experiment to him, but to us it's a matter of life and death. And if we've got to choose between the swell and nothing at all, it's really a choice? No, not really. Oops. Lambert wished to offer you a small token of his gratitude. If you come here by choice and you are still bearing medicine, your kindness shouldn't go unrewarded. This vase is important to us, but I would want you to have it. It's just some old pottery, I know, but it might be valued by collectors of cultural artifacts. There are men who are willing to pay a good coin for such objects. If you go to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, chances are you'll find one of them. Welcome, welcome. What might a discerning lady like yourself be looking for today? Cracked vase. The crack was there before you found it. Honest. Permit me to examine this vase, of course. Hope you did not spend too much coin on this trash. The flood of all like items brought in by refugees has destroyed what demand once existed. The markets are fickle, my friend. If you lose sight of current trend, you stand to lose everything, as I once did. Market wards once bore my name, so fate and hubris reduced me to this. For your sake, I pray that you too, but you do not have to learn this lesson the same way I did. Tune to that one. Now we're gonna head out to Central Thanalan. You'll see there's a bunch of red there, which indicates indicates that in that particular area there's some sort of combat-related quest or some area of quest that we need to search through. Mapping the realm Central Thanalan. So, as you can see on the minimap, there's a whole host of, well, whatever those are. And then you can see on the top here, the highlights. It means that we need to kill some of those for my quest. Hold up again. This is also something nice about this game. And this time I'll actually read this out. In the event multiple solo players attack the same target, the player who attacks first will always receive 100% of the experience points and items dropped. The player who follow will be rewarded based on their contribution to the battle. If you see a fellow player in need of a hand, do not hesitate to lend yours. So there's no kill stealing or experience stealing in this game. Now I am just going to do something because I have problems with my control keys. That was right. Hotbar, there we go. Hotbar 2. No, that's, you see that's an A1 instead of A1, C3. Well, it's automatic control there, but I can't do the control because I have problems with it. That's an issue with my computer, not the game itself. As you can see, because I've collected all the different killing quests, it's actually doing 2 of them, so I need to collect the bottles of blood and also kill them, so. Also need to kill the hornets. High quality items. Oops. Well, fortunately they're fast to kill. Let's go upwards there. So the skill that with all the shiny lights, there's Fight or Flight, which increases physical damage dealt by 25%. Faster since I'm a tank class, so DPS is rather slow. For the beginning monsters, it's a little slower than DPS because the cooldown for skills is a bit slower, but it's not too bad. Sometimes these monsters are kind of cute, so it's like, rabbit for meat or something like that. In this case, we're trying to help from them. That works too. chase after you. Even if they were aggressive, they would chase after a certain period of length, basically their vision, kind of. And now that's it for there. You can see there's two different ways to get into Ul'dah. And you can also see their inventory is filling up a bit there. You do want to actually pay attention to your inventory from now and then, because it does fill up very quickly sometimes. Early on, it's not so bad, and your items, you can either sell them up on the marketplace after you get a retainer. I'll talk more about that once that's available, or you just sell it directly to a vendor. Sorry. Sometimes it'll because you won't get as much gil if you're interested in money making. So there's that. Otherwise, you can hang on to it for crafting. Not all of it is. Most of the items that drop are for crafting, but some of them aren't. So be aware of that. I like the waterfall. Welcome back, Celebrity. I take it you have dispatched the beasts with ease. Rest assured, there will be far greater challenges to come, and if you wish to master the sword, you must test yourself against a wide variety of foes. To this end, I present to you this hunting log. It contains information on creatures ideal for gladiator training. You will doubtless gain valuable experience should you seek out and slay them. It is only with such practice that you will recognize and eliminate the deficiencies in your technique. Your training under me shall continue once the haft sits so snugly in your hand that you cannot imagine holding on else. Until then, Celebrian. And as it says, once you reach level 5. And unfortunately, I'm only level 4. Hunting log obtained. I'll explain that in just a second. This talks about the chains. So, there's this combination of this skill. So use this first, and this. And this as a bonus, as you see the combo action there. Go in the middle with Fast Blade, so this is Fast Blade. This is Savage Blade. The combo potency, so the amount of damage calculated, or something like that, is increased if you do the combination rather than just this skill by itself. So the hunting log is a record of your completion of tasks involving the slaying of certain creatures. By completing these tasks, you will earn rewards and unlock a new challenge. The log can be accessed via logs found in your main menu or by pressing H on your keyboard. Once the log is opened, select a class and difficulty to view, and I'll leave the rest to you. And then, as this says, this is very handy so like right now I only have Gladiator unlocked. Once I have the other classes unlocked, these will also be available. You can't, so say for Gladiator I have to kill these creatures as Gladiator. I can't use any of the other classes to finish the Gladiator log, which makes sense. To me, anyway. It makes sense in terms of gameplay too. So for the Gladiator, I have these to kill. Unfortunately, it's some of the duplicates of what I just killed, but that happens. left to right. The blood, you brought it? Marmot blood. They root it. The year you died, Erasmus is convinced this frothy blood of a star amendment will help him better understand the life the now deceased beast can live. That's not creepy at all. Yes, yes, this shall serve nicely. By virtue of your toil, I am one step closer to publishing The Many Breaths of Thanalin. Thank you. Take this as recompense. Go now and may the traitors smile upon you. So you have your choice of Disciple of War or Disciple of well, I guess it's all classes, but this is more practical, or you can just roll the gold. I'm going to go with this just because I need the better gear. And now we have access to the Armoury Chest. Since the armory system in Final Fantasy XIV allows you to change your class or job by simply changing the weapon or tool in your main hand, it is recommended that you always have several sets of gear on hand. However, gear can take up a tremendous amount of space in one's inventory, which is why all adventurers carry an armory chest. All gear purchased, crafted, or found is automatically stored in this chest, leaving your inventory free to fill with other items such as potions, crafting materials, and food. Gear in your armory chest is categorized and sorted by type and can be equipped or discarded directly from the chest interface. The armory chest can be accessed at any time by selecting character from the main menu followed by armory chest or pressing Ctrl I. You can also change it so that your gear is dropped to your inventory, which I sometimes do because it's easier to see what you get new instead of filling up your armory chest, because if you were like me and my main character, your armory chest fills up very quickly because you have a lot of classes and a lot of gear. Once you have higher levels, you'll have less gear and basically one set gear that you'll wear. Obviously with each expansion added, so like once Shadowbringers is unlocked, or available, sorry, I'm gonna probably end up having more gear than I need again. So I clicked here with recommended gear, and it sometimes does a pretty good job of telling you what gear is adequate for you. So right now I have Ring of Fidelity that just was added, which boost is just another ring. Something that I'm gonna do is long mail, because there's the top right here. I have 9, which means I have 9 letters, which means I have various stuff that I can actually use. Yeah, so have a cat. One thing that's also nice about the weather is you can see the character actually looks like they've been painted on, rather than just a weather feature. Back already, are you? Come, let us see what you've brought. True pelt. This bristly hide of snapping shrew. These are fine shrew pelts indeed. Well done, friend. The largest climbs. I fear that we will come to pass had this order been delayed any longer. Take this, Hank. You've more than earned it. And here we have another choice of Disciple of War, Disciple of Magic, or all classes again. And for this, well, that just because. And as you saw during that, I had an invitation to a free company. But I will be joining the main one, so thanks, but no thanks. Just for the second thing, we'll just stick with it. Alright. Go. Justice League. Fantasy style. It's actually kind of cute. Oh, I see. That was a signature request. That's actually new to me. Yes, they're literally starting their guild. Or, sorry, not guild. Free company. Free companies in this. I'm so used to other games with the group, real player as guild. But the guilds in this are for your classes and jobs and whatnot. That's the first time I've actually seen a signature because the free company that I had joined is an established one, so. How was your tour of the city, Celebrian? Get lost, did you? Aye, well, Ul'dah is a big place and well lots to see and do. But wandering around and aimlessly don't pay the bills. So if you're serious about making a living here, you'll need to remember where things are. So when you go exploring, explore like you've got purpose, eh? Alright then, all that's left for you is to work hard, make money, and spend it here at the quicksand. Guess we don't get a choice to spend our guild anywhere else. Nobody of the quicksand wants to introduce you to a certain somebody at the Ul'dah dispatch yard. Well, youngling, how are you finding your fine Ul'dah then? Got your bearings about you yet? If so, mayhap it's time you ventured beyond the city walls. The bustling streets of Ul'dah are one thing, but the wilds of Thanalan, that's another altogether. Know a bloke you might fancy speaking to? He, name of Papasheen. You'll find him over at the Ul'dah dispatch yard. No doubt he'll have time and some work for you. Dispatch yard's over in central Thanalan. Just head out to the door across the hall and you'll see the gate of Nuld staring right back at you. Pass through it and head east. You'll come upon it before long. There's dangers beyond the wall, though. More than I'd care to count. Nothing too terrible mind, but feisty enough if you attack you draw near. Don't say nobody cared enough to warn you. Well, that will be it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll continue next time.